3 people are shot at a senior living center in downtown Vancouver. A bolt of lightning causes major damage to an East Vancouver home. And the Boo Birds come out at an open house in Camas to talk about the city's plans for a public pool. Those stories and more on today's edition of the Week in Review from ClarkCountyToday.com. One person is dead and 2 others were hurt in a shooting Thursday in the lobby of the Smith Tower, an assisted living facility in downtown Vancouver. Kim Kapp with Vancouver Police says officers from across the region swarmed the area as the incident unfolded.
This is a situation where it's a retirement community, so we have elderly residents as well as an elevator situation. So that is something that for officers and for the safety of the residents, we have to be careful about that because we don't know where the suspect is when you're in a multi-story building like that. So certainly for the safety of everyone, the officers, initially were patrol officers, they were relieved by SWAT officers who have more tactical training, as well as we brought negotiators in immediately to make contact with the suspect, which was extremely helpful to be able to maintain that line of communication and get a peaceful resolution to the situation.
The suspect, 80-year-old Robert Breck, lived in the building and apparently told detectives the shooting was over a feud with another man who lived there. Breck appeared in Clark County Court on Friday on charges of first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder. He was held without bail. One of the 2 injured victims was treated and released from Peace Health Southwest Medical Center. The other, a 77-year-old woman, was treated and then transferred to another hospital, but is said to be in satisfactory condition. Well, we had a bit of thunder roll through the area on Thursday, but nothing like last Saturday when a bolt of lightning caused major damage to a home in East Vancouver. Steve and Erica Pine said the bolt hit a tree behind the house, traveling through the wires and blowing out a wall. Amazingly, no one was injured. We also saw this amazing photo taken by Jeff Allen of Vennersburg, a storm passing over the Hawkinson area. Pretty cool stuff. Well, this week we wrapped up our series looking at the City of Vancouver's response to homeless campers in Arnold Park. We heard from new homeless resource manager Jackie St. Louis, who promised that the city will find a way to address concerns of neighbors for the environmentally sensitive area. We also broke down how Clark County is working to craft its own policy to deal with homeless encampments popping up in public spaces around the region. At least 3,000 people were considered homeless at some point last year, and there were only a few hundred shelter beds available in the county at the best of times. Well, continuing on the theme of homelessness in Clark County, editor Ken Vance joined the conversation with his thoughts on the issue that we raised in Arnold Park. Specifically, Vance followed up on the comments by St. Louis, who said that we have to be very clear about the fact that public health and safety hazards are not something we can allow to persist in our community. Vance called it a crime to soil and litter lands in our community, not only a crime in a literal sense, but also a crime against humanity. Vance acknowledged the costs of addressing the homeless issue in Clark County, but also stated his belief that we are already assuming those costs by not attempting to deal with more preventative efforts rather than just reactive measures. Well, what do you think? Sound off by joining our growing community on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube to see when stories are posted and to share your thoughts about what's happening in your community. Well, Camas residents met on Wednesday night for the second community open house on the proposed $78 million Community Aquatic Center project. The evening opened with Camas City Administrator Pete Capel speaking to a packed house of people, both for and against the project. No new information was presented, and the address from Capel ended with a bit of a ruckus and exclamations from several in the crowd, wondering why questions would not be taken for all to hear. Now, at one point, a woman in opposition to the project attempted to speak over Capel, and later a resident began speaking to into the microphone before city officials turned it off.
They want to hear from everybody's questions.
Why don't you just let her out the floor? Go ahead and discuss. Why don't you just let her out
The full story at ClarkCountyToday.com. Time now to check in with Paul Valencia for the Week in Review Sports Updates.
Happy Friday, everybody. Hey, I hope everyone gets a chance to see our Monday Sports Update. It's a video highlights package from the previous Friday night football games. It's a lot of fun to put together. It just gives you, the readers, an extra look at Friday's games. Also this week, we had football notes from 4A, 3A, 2A, and Class 1A. And we had a story on Slowpitch softball making a comeback in the high school ranks. We featured the Camas Papermakers. The Papermakers were the best team last year, Last year they went to the unofficial state tournament. This year the WIA is sanctioning Slowpitch softball, and there is a state tournament coming up in November. Back to football, we will be at District Stadium tonight in Battleground for Prairie's big game against Kelso. Prairie 4-0 versus Kelso 4-0. 3A Greater St. Helens League football game of the week.
Well, the weather forecast is looking beautiful for this weekend, so maybe head to downtown Ridgefield for the 20th anniversary of Birdfest and Bluegrass during the Farmers Market at Overlook Park. Maybe Sunday you could check out Puffs, a fun show put on by Pacific Stageworks. Head to our full event calendar at clarkcountytoday.com for details and a link to buy tickets, and of course for plenty more fun ideas to fill the last few nice days of the year. And there's your look at a busy week in the clarkcountytoday.com newsroom. Of course, if you think we're not already busy enough, you can always send news tips and story ideas to us via email, news@clarkcountytoday.com. For all of us at Clark County Today, I'm Chris Brown. Thank you so much for watching. Have a terrific weekend. We'll talk to you next week.